Hi Clean Living. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody had a good weekend. This weekend we went scalloping, which was kind of exciting. Here in Florida there's a certain time of year where we go scalloping, and we're members of the Central Florida Sail and Power Squadron, so we take boats out to the Gulf and then go out with our snorkeling gear and our fins, and really you float on the water, and you're in about 5 to 6 feet of relatively clear water, and you're looking for scallops. So we did that on Saturday. We went out to the Gulf. We stayed with some friends in Hernando Beach and went out to the Gulf and scalloped. So that was kind of exciting and fun. So I hope everybody else had a good weekend. I'm just going to give some time for people to come on because I'm a couple minutes late. My apologies. I never give myself enough time to find all of my supplies. So tonight we're going to work on making headache sticks. So we all get headaches, myself and our children do. So there's, in the Young Living brand, if I get a headache, one of my go-to oils is this guy right here. So this is lavender. Excuse me, this is not lavender. This is peppermint. I take a little bit on my fingers and touch the sides of my temples with it, and it warms the sides of your temples and pretty much makes a headache go away. So lavender is definitely a go-to oil. Hi Erin. I keep saying lavender. Peppermint is a go-to oil for headaches. So the other one I have for headaches that I use, I usually keep this one in my purse, is Deep Relief. If you haven't tried this one, you really need to. This one's good for sore back, sore muscles. If I'm gardening out on the weekend, you wake up the next day, the back of your knees kind of are a little sore. Hi Corey. Hi Miss Erin. And I use that for sore muscles. A lot of people use it when they work out. I happen to use it for headache. Again, same thing. If I don't have peppermint with me, I take a little bit on my fingertips, put it on the temples of my head, and it works fantastic to get rid of a headache. So tonight we are going to make headache sticks. So we don't always carry these in our purse. We should, but we don't always. And let's face it, they're oils. So I have a recipe for a headache stick. It's similar to what, if anybody joined in a week or so ago when we made lip balm. Same thing. See these little tubes? They were on the supply list for this month. Hi Heather. You can buy them on Amazon. I just got these from Amazon, as a matter of fact. So just buy them empty, and if you don't have them yet for this month, you'll need them. So we're going to make we made lip balm already. We're going to make a headache stick. We're going to make an owie stick. We're going to make a itchy stick when the kids get bit by ants and stuff like that. We're going to do all that this month. So you will need these. And again, typical lip balm, empty container. You can buy them on Amazon. So as we wait for people to get started, we'll just go over some of the ingredients for this. So we're going to need beeswax, same thing as the other day when we made the lip balm. We're going to need shea butter, which I just got. As you can see, it's not even open. Hi Charlotte. So here's shea butter, and we're going to need coconut oil. And for those that follow me, they know I'm a soaper, so I buy my coconut oil in some ridiculously large containers. But coconut oil, so that is what we will need today. We will need Panaway. We will need lavender. Hi Tamara. Hi Wendy. We will need the old standby peppermint. And we will need eucalyptus. The first three are kit oils. This one is not. This is also optional. So if you choose not to use the eucalyptus, just put another 10 drops of Panaway in it. But I like eucalyptus, and it's also a warming agent for me. I put it on, So again, what we're going to need today, we need beeswax. I buy the pellet version because they're easier, they melt easier. We need shea butter. We need coconut oil. and we need the empty lip balm containers, which you can buy on Amazon. Simple, simple. So let's go ahead and get started. This is my scale. You've seen this in the soap making. You don't necessarily have to have one like this. You could just use a simple kitchen scale that you have for measuring, for weighing meats and stuff like that. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like $52, but it has tare weights and different measurement opportunities. So depending on what I'm making, I can easily switch between. And that tare weight stuff is very cool when you're making large batches of soap. So bear with me one second. I have to check my oven. As you can see, you know the drill. If anybody follows me, I'm cooking dinner at night when I'm going live. So my oven is letting me know I need to check something. Be right back. Hi, Carol. Okay, sorry about that. So the first thing we're going to use is, we'll start with beeswax, because beeswax takes the longest to melt. So get out a container. A spoon, which my apologies, I should have had all this ready before I went live. And the first thing we're going to put in is we are going to put in 1.25 ounces, so 1.25 ounces of beeswax. I'm going to start with the can. Oh, this is the other thing. I'm sorry I didn't bring this up. So when we're making this type of stuff, lip balm, owie sticks, headache sticks, it's sticky and it gets hard. So it's kind of hard to clean out of your pans. Learned this by myself. So now what I do is I just save my empty cans. So this is enough. You'll only fill it. Actually, it'll melt to about here. It'll make 25 tubes, to at least 25 tubes of what it is that we're making. And then when you're done with it, you just simply throw it away. So just save your old cans, use it to melt. So on my stove, I have a pan with some boiling water. Basically, it's going to be a double boiler, and we're going to use the can as a double boiler. So we're going to start with the beeswax. And I said 1.25 ounces of beeswax. And most of these, if you don't want to measure, are about 4 tablespoons. Spot on. 1.25 ounces of beeswax. Hi, Laura. Hi, Bonnie. And hi, Kayla. Happy Monday to you as well. So because beeswax takes so long to melt, I'm going to go ahead and just put this in the water while we measure the rest. Hi, Amber. While we measure the rest of the ingredients in a separate bowl, and we'll just add that. So as you can see, hopefully you can see this, it is boiling. Set the can in it, and there you go. There's your double boiler. Fancy schmancy. So now we're going to put the rest of the ingredients and just have a regular old glass bowl, and I can just scrape it into the can when we measure it. The rest of the ingredients is going to be 2.25 ounces of coconut oil. So we take my big old thing of coconut oil. 2.25 ounces. Hit tare weight on the scale, so it goes back to 0. Let's just and that sound you're hearing, by the way, is because the beeswax is light and there's water in there, so it's kind of bouncing on the bottom of the can. So it's not about to explode or anything. So 2.25 ounces of coconut oil. We ended up with 2.3, I'm going to take it down a little bit. Okay, good. And we're going to go ahead and put that in the can so that that thing stops bouncing around. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so far we have had 1.25 ounces of beeswax and 2.25 ounces of coconut oil. So they're in the can behind me on the stove, melting. Now we're going to go to shea butter. I just got this shea butter, and the last time I ordered shea butter, I actually ordered it in a container similar to the one you just saw, only a smaller version of that. And my goodness, it was hard to use. So I've done some reading, and they tell me if you buy it by the cake, they call this, it's a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to give it a try. We'll see how it goes. And I use a lot of shea butter as well for my body butters and stuff like that. So that's why you see me, I buy the larger of them. In fact, if you buy any of your, if you're a soaper and you buy any of your supplies from an organization called the Essential, oh my goodness, I'm going blank. It's got to be on here. I just got it. Essentials Depot. If you join an organization called the Greener Side, which is like their frequent flyer or their frequent shopper organization, I think it's like $5 a month. But you got this one. This is a 5-pound, so $24 worth of shea butter. That's how much it costs to buy from them, and you got it free this month for being that member. So, what do you think about that? All right. And the shea butter, we need 2.3 ounces of shea butter. Let's get a different spoon so we don't get any different oils in my shea butter. And yeah, much easier to use it. See how you just kind of scoop that out, kind of like a thicker pudding. But what did I say? 2.3 ounces of shea butter. Okay, I'm talking too much and I'm not paying attention to my scale. Turn the scale on before you put the butters in. That's right, yeah. It is Essentials Depot, Tamara. I'm sorry, I wasn't reading along. Hi, Jessica. But if you take a look at their Greener Life, I think it's called the Greener Life. I think it's like $5 a month. And you get all kinds of free stuff. You get points similar to you do in the Young Living, and you could use them. But if you're a member, like this month, I just joined this month, and I got 5 pounds of shea butter for free. So it's pretty good. All right, 2.3 ounces of shea butter. I love shea butter. I am fine just to take shea butter when I come home and have a little bit of a sunburn. Just rub it on. Okay, 2.3 ounces of shea butter. Put this down. Get the shea butter in the can so it can melt along with the rest of our ingredients. Aside. This is also one of those do-it-yourself recipes that doesn't make a very big mess, unlike my soaping. If you've watched me soap, it's and it's me, but yeah, I always tease that I look like an episode of Breaking Bad because all of my big oils come out and I got stuff everywhere on my scale. Okay, shea butter away. Now we just have to wait for it to melt. And I'll show it to you as soon as it does melt. Everything else was melted, so it shouldn't take very long for the shea butter to continue to melt. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll just go over the recipe one more time for those who just joined. And bear with me for keep looking over here or stepping out of the screen because I can't read the laptop from there. So 1.25 ounces of beeswax, 2.3 ounces of shea butter, and 2.25 ounces of coconut oil. And when I get done with this class, I'll also post it on the Green Living site, and I will also create a recipe card and put it under the file. So all the recipes I've done in the previous challenge as well as this one, I've created recipe cards for, and each one that I do, I put it out to the files directory, and you can click on it anytime and download the recipes anytime. So, hi Luann, and better late than never. We're just waiting for the oils to melt. We put 1.25 ounces of beeswax, 2.3 ounces of shea butter, and 2.25 ounces of coconut oil. And if you don't really want to measure, that's about 4 tablespoons, give or take, but about 4 tablespoons of each of those into a aluminum can because it does get messy. And put it into a double boiler, just a double boiler, or a pan with some water in it. Put the aluminum can in it, and it's melting, nicely. We've probably got a couple more minutes. Give that a quick stir, just to kind of keep it going. And as I mentioned to the group earlier, I generally start by putting the beeswax in first, and then I measure the other ingredients and I put that in after. And the reason I do that is because the beeswax takes just that little bit longer to melt. So, and I use this beeswax. It comes in pellets, so it's easy to manage, easy to measure. And right now it's melting. We have Panaway, one more time. It's going to go in it. We have lavender that's going to go into it. We have peppermint that's going to go into it. And we have eucalyptus. The first 3 are kit oils, so if you don't happen to have eucalyptus, I like it because it warms. It's a warming agent for me. But you can replace it with 10 additional drops of Panaway. So if you have a kit, the first 3 are kit oils. You have what you need to make the recipe for tonight. If you happen to have eucalyptus as well, Young Living eucalyptus, you can go ahead and use it. If not, just go ahead and add additional 10 drops of Panaway to the recipe. Yeah, beeswax pellet, and you want to get them in pellets. Again, that's one of those mistakes I learned early on. You can buy beeswax in a container, and then you just kind of need really sharp instruments to get it out. So it's too much work for me. The pellets work fantastic. They melt a lot easier because they're not in such big chunks. So we're going to go ahead and clear this area out a little bit because we're going to bring the hot oil over. Bring out the oven mitts because it's hot. Go ahead and set this down and I'll show this to you. I don't know if I can show it to you with the phone that way, but we'll give it a try. You can see inside the container, it's just liquid oil. It's melted. Do it this way. Can't really tell. I don't think you can see it because it's just going to be too dark. So bear with me. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add our oils. Now the one thing, as I mentioned when we were making the lip balm, we do not want to add our oils on heat because it just dissipates some of the good qualities of them, and you just don't want it to evaporate. I mean, it's essential oil. It's a Young Living essential oil. The reason we use it is because we want therapeutic grade. We want good quality essential oil, so we just certainly don't want it to evaporate into the air because we've applied it to heat. So I take the oil off the heat, and I will we'll start with peppermint. So we're Here's our peppermint. Peppermint. And we're going to put 30 drops of peppermint into this recipe. Now remember, this recipe makes 25 to 30 tubes of whatever it is we're making. So cutting it down, maybe cut it in half. I make them because I sell a lot of them on Etsy, but I also use them for giveaways, Christmas giveaways. So they're great stocking stuffers. We made lip balm a couple weeks ago. We're making headache sticks today. Every parent I know needs a headache stick, and some high school students and children, you can use them on your kiddos as well. They're just like, they come out just like a lip balm, and when you use them, you just simply apply them over the forehead. Sometimes I'll put them down my nose depending on how bad the headache is, but it's just like it's a lip balm. So we're going to put 30 drops of peppermint in our oil. Now, anybody who watches me on a regular basis, you know when I am dropping oil, I don't talk. I am blonde. I dye it to match my personality, and I need to keep track. So that's why I'm being quiet. I'm not trying to be rude. Lavender, 20 drops of lavender. Okay. Panaway, 10 drops. Now, if you're not going to use the eucalyptus, which is the other oil I use, the first 3 are kit oils. The eucalyptus is not. If you're not, you're going to use 20 drops of Panaway. But I'm going to use 10 because I am using eucalyptus. Okay, here's our Panaway. And if anybody doesn't know Panaway, again, I'm assuming if you have a kit, you know what Panaway is. So for me, this is my go-to oil. I've been having difficulty with this elbow for some reason, right here or right along the outside. I don't know what I did to it, if I twisted it, but when I wake up in the morning, it's very sore, and when I turn it a certain distance, it really starts to hurt. And I think because I sleep on it at night, I make it worse. So this is my go-to oil. I wake up in the morning, it is sore as heck. I put this on throughout the day. This is the deep relief I mentioned earlier. If you're getting a headache, you don't have a headache stick, peppermint, my first go-to. Second go-to, deep relief on my fingers, on my temples. This is also fantastic for sore muscles, and that's actually what it's made for, but for me it works fantastic for a headache. So I use it throughout the day, but in the morning and at night before I go to bed, I just simply go like this with this onto my finger, rub it across my arm, again on my finger, and rub it down the side, and it just kind of alleviates that pain so that I can go to sleep. So it's in lieu of, in my opinion, for me it works similar to a pain reliever. But Panaway, that's already gone in. And now we're going to put our 10 drops of eucalyptus. And you can use the eucalyptus blue. I have rhodiosia, I believe is how you say it. This happens to be one of my favorite. I have all 3, but this is one of my favorites. So I use this one in my headache stick. Okay, we're going to put 10 drops of that in. So what we've put in are 30 drops of peppermint, 10 drops of Panaway, 10 drops of eucalyptus, and 20 drops of lavender. If you don't have the eucalyptus, just up the Panaway to 20 drops and you have your headache stick. So if you made lip balm with us, you know this is a timed event because this does start to get warm, and the warmer it gets, it just stops working with the pipette. But from here, it's relatively simple, guys. We take we simply take the pipette, mix it, You'll see it's coming up nice and clear. You'll see as we go through this, this will start to get darker. When it starts to get darker, that means it's getting hard. So we can remelt it, but usually I can move quickly enough where I can just fill the tubes. So what I do is I go through the tubes, fill them halfway. Actually, let's just do it this way so we don't end up getting too hard. Fill them up so that they're filled to the top. And you'll see after a minute or so, they will start to condense, so they'll get a little low. Because I sell them, I like them to be full to the top. Customers feel like they're getting what they pay for. And you can cut the recipe in half, so you figure that'll make about 12 tubes. You could make it smaller than that if you want to make less than that, but like I said, they're fantastic to give away to coworkers. You know, that person you just don't know what to get. Then we got a birthday, Christmas stocking stuffers, the different things that we make other moms, especially when we make the owie stick and the itchy stick. Those are fantastic to carry in diaper bags. So great gifts for people. Really inexpensive to make, quite frankly. Pop one in your purse. Feel a headache coming on. Like I said, across the forehead. Here, you can actually put it back up here. This is one of my main places right here up the back side of my neck. And it goes on just like a lip balm. It's not oily or it's not greasy. And we're filling them. Are you used for migraines? Use peppermint for migraines? So I have a couple friends of mine. One of them, she uses peppermint and Panaway. And that's probably what you're talking about, Panaway, because I was just talking about Panaway. She'll use, some people just use the Panaway, some people use the peppermint and Panaway, and then Young Living has one called M-Grain. Knock on wood, I do not suffer from migraines, but I have a girlfriend of mine who does, and she swears by M-Grain. But she has migraines to the point where she's, you know, she's on medication. If she starts to feel one coming on, she takes medication that kind of makes her very, very loopy, and so it scared her. So she switched it off to M-Grain, because the Panaway and the peppermint would kind of hold it off if it was going to be a headache, but if it was going to turn into a migraine, she felt like that would just, it wasn't enough. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't see why not. Oh, the Panaway, I would think it would. I do not know if we can take that in, internally. So let me do some research on that, Carol, and I certainly will respond to that. And you use deep relief. There you go. Deep relief is, you know, that's the step up, right? So you put peppermint on and it's just not cutting it. Deep relief is definitely a step up for that headache that's just above and beyond the normal headache. There is such a thing. But as I mentioned, a friend of mine who's suffers from regular migraines, she uses M-Grain. She always starts with the peppermint, then goes to the Panaway, and then if it's going to get worse, and she can tell it's going to get worse, she goes to the M-Grain. But yeah, deep relief is adds that just a little extra heat over just peppermint on your temples. That's a good question, Carol. I will definitely look into that. And I assume you're talking about Panaway, yes? You can see the oil as I'm getting farther and farther into my tubes. I got 22 tubes, I believe. It is starting to change in color, a little darker. Oh, I don't know. From the outside, maybe. It's not meant for internal. But I will certainly look into it for you. Do you got the resource app? Because that should tell you too for toothaches. I'm sure there's some moms. If there's some moms on here, they will know for teething and stuff like that. Knock on wood, I don't have any toothaches, and I haven't teethed or had any teethers in a long time. But I certainly can look into that. But if you have that app, the oil resource app, that'll tell you too. All right, we're going to bust into another set of tubes. Oh, Carol Lee, download the app. Yeah, so you can see it's starting to get thick. I'm chatting too much. And I really don't like wasting it. So now I'm going to go through real quick and fill the tops of the ones that I did previously. As you'll see, they're hardening. They harden very quickly. But they all decrease in size too. Stop talking for a minute so I can fill these before this gets too hard and I have to reapply it to the heat, which is probably what I'm going to do. Okay, we're still doing pretty good. See how it doesn't really want to suck them up? So give me a minute. We are going to go to round 2 of this. Let that warm up again so that I can finish making up some tubes. So that made, that's 23 tubes that I've made with the recipe, and it's probably, I probably got about that much left, so we're probably talking another 2 or 3 tubes. So give you an idea what it looks like. Make sure it's hard on you. There you go. That's when it's full. That is a headache stick. And bear with me one sec, I'll show you one other thing before I go. So this is what it looks like. These are clear versions of the tubes. I've switched off to white now. But these are, this is the headache stick. This is what it looks like on my Etsy site. And again, it works just like a lip balm. Looks just like a lip balm. In fact, it won't hurt you if you use it as a lip balm. That's what the finished product looked like. So there is our headache stick. This is our version that we've made today. I'm just going to wait for the rest of my oils to melt back down so I can finish the rest of the tubes. Simply pop the tops on them, put some cute little labels on them, and off they go. So headache stick. Let's go over it one more time so everybody has it. We have 1.25 ounces of beeswax, 2.3 ounces of shea butter, 2.25 ounces of coconut oil, 10 ounces of peppermint, 10 ounces, yeah. 10 drops of peppermint, 10 drops of Panaway, 20 drops of lavender, and 10 drops of eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is not a kit oil, so if you don't have it, just simply add an additional 10 drops of the Panaway to the oil that you've melted in a double boiler on your stove, similar to what you see there. Have yourself a pipette so that you can suck the oil out, pop it in the tube, and you make yourself 25 little Christmas gifts. And definitely something you pop in your purse, your diaper bag, your kid's backpack, whatever. So again, I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I want to do a shout out to Luann. Thank you so much for hosting for me for a few days. We went scalloping this weekend, and Luann put recipes out, developed the recipes and the pictures, and put them out for everybody to enjoy. I saw the recipes. There's some fantastic ones out there. If you haven't seen them, go take a look at them. I will create memory cards for them, I will create recipe cards for them as well, and they'll be found in the files area of this group. So in this group, you can see any videos that I've done. You can also see any recipes we've done, because for every recipe we post, we create a recipe card, and it goes under files. So later, if you want to go back to it, you can download it and do what you want with it. But anyways, I thank everybody for taking the time out on their Monday evening to join me. This is Tony with Clean Living, and we'll see you soon. Have a great night.